Hello, guys, and welcome to Human Resource for Beginners. And today we will be discussing about the Human Resource Department and also the human resource functions which are related to it. So, why we need a separate department called as Human Resource Management? The reason is that when the human resource functions become more complex and time consuming, they need a separate department because it is on large scale operation, and the competition the establishment on the HR department is high. Based on an organization of the HR overall HR department, there's no universally accepted structure for the human resource department. So you can take your actions and combine with a variety of activities and the functions. So we will discuss about the HR department structures. So first of all, we have the first type. Actually, the HR manager acts as a first line manager and reports to a middle manager in the structure. So first of all, we have the owner and the manager, and then we spread on to two separate as manager and manager, and under one manager you have the assistant manager, which is the HR, and below that you have the clerks. So that's how one structure of the department of HR combines. And the next type, we have the general manager, and under beneath the general manager we have the production manager, we have the HR manager, the marketing manager, and the IT manager. And beneath the HR manager we have the assistant HR manager, and beneath that we have the HR assistants. So that's another kind of type structure of the HR. And we move on to another type. We have the CEO or the director, then upon the director of HR, and then we have the manager HR planning, staffing manager, human resource development manager, reward manager, and also the ER or the IR manager. So beneath the HRD manager, we have the assistant manager in training and also the assistant manager in development. And beneath the manager with staffing, we have the assistant manager for recruitment and the assistant manager for selection. And beneath that, we have the assistant manager for the job design, and also we have the assistant manager for the planning. Basically, the managing HR planning manager goes in combined with both of these assistant manager for the job design and also the assistant manager for planning. So that's another kind of a HR department. So we have the basis for the departmentalizations. That means how the subunits of the HR are created. We have the field base, the functional base, the employee base, and the business base, factory base, and finally we have the mixed base. So based on those bases, we have the departmentalization. So first of all, we'll take the field base. The field base is actually developing the subunits of the HR department based on different fields of HR. We have the director of HR, and beneath that we have the manager HR planning, manager staffing, manager HRD, manager reward management, and also the manager for IR and ER. And next we move on to the functional base. We have under the director of HR, manager job design, manager HR planning, manager recruitment, manager training, and also the manager for IR and ER. So for based on functional base, the subunits are developed based on the HR department into different functions of HRM, and work is organized according to the function. When you speak about the advantages, only the specialized managers can be employed, and based on the disadvantages, it create conflicts between the functional areas. So next we move on to the employee base. Based on the employee base, dividing the HR department into subunits according to the types of employees of the organization can be considered as the employee base. So you have under the director of HR, we have the HR manager, which includes the top, middle, and managers. And then we have the HR manager for the first line managers. and then the technical employees for the HR manager, the clerical employees, and also the manager, operational employees, based on all the HR manager functions. When we speak about the advantages of the employee base, we have the possibility to consider for the special needs of the respective employees. And as a disadvantages, the employees may have grievances upon the degree of treatment of varieties of the groups of employees. Next, we move on to the business base. This is actually developing the subunits of the HR department based on the different businesses of the organization. For an example, we have the three products such as electrical products, sanitary products, and automobile, which depends and for each other, and it varies accordingly. And for first, we have the director of HR. So under the director of HR, you have the different kinds of HR managers for automobile, sanitary ware, and also the electrical product units. Speaking about the advantages of the business space, it is easy to recruit, and also the disadvantages when you speak about it, the operational cost is recently it's high actually. So that's about the business base. So next we move on to the factory base. It's also developing the subunits as per the factories located in different geographical areas. So you have the director of HR at the top, and based on the HR managers, we have a different factory for one HR man and another different factory for another HR manager. So speaking about the advantages of the factory base, it can be focused on problems faced by the employees in different locations. But when it comes to disadvantages, it really affect on the HR strategies based on the policies and the decisions that they make. So it is so hard to be uniform. So that's about the factory base. So next we move on to the mixed base. It is actually the subunits are established in an HR department based on a combination of a basis. So you have the director of HR on the top, and next you have all the HR managers for various product categories, and we'll take one product category, and beneath that we have the manager for staffing, and the manager for HRD, and manager for the reward management, and also for the IR and ER. And beneath the HRD you have the officer for managerial employees, and also the officer for the non-managerial employees. So those are the categories of the mixed base in the basis of the departmentalization. So next we move on to the role of an HR department. HR department has to perform a service role. It is entrusted with the staff authority, and also the department should create the uniformity, the continuity, and the consistency of the HR decisions. It also acts as an advisory role, and also a monitoring role, innovator role, and also adopter role. So those are the roles of the HR department. So when you speak about the human resource management functions, we have the strategic human resource functions, advisory human resource function, and also the operational human resource function. Based on the strategic human resource functions, we have the policy making, the developing, and the designing of the HRs, and also the contribution to the corporate plan of the organization, and also interacting the HR activities based on the main performance of the organization. When you speak about the human resource function as an advisory role, it based on the planning and the industrial harmony, and also the training and development mainly. When we speak about the operational function of the human resource, you have the job analysis, you have the recruitment and selection, so you have the job evaluation, the salary administration, and also handling grievances and taking actions on disciplinary stuff. So those are the functions of the operational base on the human resource function. So that's all we have for today on human resource for beginners. Hoping to see you guys on the next episode for human resource for beginners. Until then, have a nice day. I will see you on the next episode once again.